You're locked in with Ghana Songs TV. I'm Bright.
I'm Ro.
And I'm Chineye, and today we're asking a question a lot of Ghanaian music fans have been asking quietly for years. Why doesn't Wendy Shay get the credit her numbers actually deserve?
So let's start with what's actually on the books, because the numbers here are bigger than most people realize. According to Chart Ghana streaming data, Wendy Shay has passed 400 million global streams across every major platform combined. Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, all of it. That puts her at 19th on the list of the most streamed Ghanaian artists of all time. 19th. Out of every Ghanaian musician who has ever released music digitally. That's not a small achievement, that's a career number. The kind of number that usually comes with magazine covers and headline festival slots. But if you ask the average Ghanaian music fan to name the country's biggest female artist, how many of them say Wendy Shay first? Ro, I want your honest read on that gap.
Honestly, it's a real gap. And I don't think it's about the music being weak, because clearly 400 million streams says otherwise. I think it's about narrative control. Wendy Shay's manager, Bullet, actually said this out loud in an interview. His words were that there's no female artiste in Ghana with more hit songs or a stronger fan base than Wendy Shay. But certain sections of the media refuse to acknowledge it. And when her own label boss is the one publicly pointing out that recognition and reality don't match, that tells you the artist herself has clocked it too. Part of it, honestly, goes back to how she came into the industry. When she debuted, a lot of the conversation wasn't about her sound at all. It was about comparisons to the late Ebony Reigns, may she rest in peace, and whether Wendy was trying to copy that lane. That's a brutal way to start a career, being measured against someone else's legacy instead of your own catalogue. And once that narrative sticks early, it's hard to shake, even years later when the streaming numbers have completely outgrown it.
That's a fair point. The first story that gets written about you tends to follow you the longest.
Exactly. And here's the part that doesn't get talked about enough. Wendy Shay has actually described herself as the most bullied musician in Ghana. She's spoken openly about how relentless the online trolling got, to the point where she considered walking away from music completely. Think about that for a second. An artist who's now sitting at number 19 all time nearly quit because of how she was treated online early on. And what kept her going wasn't the industry rallying behind her. It was her own fan base, the Shay Gang. That fan base is genuinely one of the most loyal in Ghanaian music. They defend her in comment sections. They push her streams. They show up. So my take is this. The credit gap isn't really about talent or output, because both are clearly there. It's that Wendy Shay built her success from the ground up through a hyper-loyal core fan base, rather than through mainstream media cosigns. And Ghana's entertainment press still largely measures relevance by who's getting written about, not who's actually being streamed. If she wants that gap to close permanently, the path isn't making louder music. It's converting Shay Gang's loyalty into the kind of crossover moments, bigger festival bookings, more high-profile collaborations outside her usual circle, that force the wider industry conversation to catch up to what the numbers have been saying all along.
400 million streams, 19th all time, and still fighting for the headline. That's the Wendy Shay story in one line.
And it's worth remembering next time someone asks who the biggest names in Ghanaian music actually are.
Tell us in the comments, do you think Wendy Shay is underrated, or is the industry actually getting this one right? We read every comment and we reply.
If breakdowns like these are useful to you, subscribe so you catch every one of these on Ghanaian, Nigerian, and South African music. This has been Ghana Songs TV. Catch you in the next one.